had a training with Patrick Rondinelli on March 30th, 2021.
Okay.
Yep. And
It was your typical, I'm just in a search.
I don't think
I'm right there with you.
I don't know the else. We were dressing down.
She came back from we did a cataract.
I asked why he was involved.
The way you approached it, you were dressing.
And we were almost to the island, and after the catamaran, we were out lunch.
Okay.
To make a compelling reason, I'm fine with
Wow.
You brought me one moment.
Oh, see, I say that name, you turn around and look, don't you? Who are we
I was
talking
just
about?
like, oh my gosh.
Everybody about
Who are
ready?
we talking about?
Everybody ready? Yeah. Great. I'm calling this meeting to order. Dated March 5th, 2024. It is now 6:30. Roll call.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Here.
Trustee Hartz.
Here.
Trustee Moreland.
Here.
Trustee Thomas.
Here.
Trustee Wolf.
Here.
Trustee Ah.
Here.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Here. All right, would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? All right, does the board have any conflicts of interest to announce at this time? Not today, huh? All right. I will open it up for public input. If any members of the public would like to address the board, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. That's a good reminder. If you do come up, there's a sign-up sheet in the back of the room or at the podium. Thank you, Kay.
I just want to ask you to think about what I'm going to say.
Go ahead and state your name and address for the record, Kay, please.
I'm Kate Phelps, 1048 North Oak Drive. What else?
You got it. You're on.
Okay. I irrigate with a hose, and I live in town. And the last 2 years, they've changed in how many hours in the morning and in the evening, which last year was none in the morning. I'm wondering if that can be changed just because of the wind we always get there. In the mornings, it stays low and stays in the ground. In the afternoons and evenings, when you can go and use it, it blows like crazy a lot. So nothing is any good. I've lost so many flowers because I couldn't keep things. I've cut down 3 trees that were having a hard time anyway, but I just wonder if we can get morning running water, because I'm an old lady and pull the hose around. The night times for me, I can't use it because I'm afraid I'm crazy and I fell 3 times on the sidewalk. So just something for you to think of before you decide this year how you're going to run the water for the days that we want to have it.
So our current watering schedule, we do have morning hours. We're allowed to water before a certain, before 9 a.m.
I'm sorry, what I read was just evening, so I didn't know I could still.
Yeah, you're okay. You will not get a fine by our finest.
We like those kind of solutions.
Yes.
Fast and easy.
Yeah, hand watering actually is not regulated by hours. So if you're hand watering, that's different. If you have a sprinkler on, then yes, you do have to comply with the watering.
Well, I do have a sprinkler for a lot.
Oh, Okay, that does have to comply.
Before 9.
Kate, did you hear Jeremy said every other day?
So it's odds or evens depending on your address. So if you have an odd address on odd days, you get the even address.
Okay. Anybody else for public input? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Did everybody get a chance to look at the agenda for this evening?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, did everyone get a chance to go over the minutes from February 20th, 2024?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes dated February 20th, 2024.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, moving on to our reports. Katie, Town Manager report.
Yeah, so we had our tabletop on February 22nd. So we are starting to be more emergency incident-wise. And then yesterday, I actually went to the pipeline safety training as well. That was in Durango, held by Paradigm, who basically supports a lot of the oil and gas, natural gas, hydrogen gas companies in the state of Colorado. And I thought I found this little matrix as well about kind of where we're at. So we did have our test, or kind of a tabletop, if you'd like to call it. We found out that we have a lot of things that we need to do to improve. So we're kind of at between test and refine. So we have another really 5 steps to really get there, to really have our emergency preparedness up to snuff for our citizens and for any other emergency that may occur. I will also like to remind you that the ICS training can either be done here in the boardroom. We certainly encourage you to do it at home at your own convenience. There are some, it's free training. And typically, CIRSA, our insurance company, will ask if you've done the ICS training. If you get a certificate, it's always be nice to know where you're at on that training. Most of the staff will be required at some point to finish certain parts of that as well. So, we had a really snowy first of February. When it started getting warm, we have a lot of developments headed towards Bayfield. A lot of things are going on, so we're definitely staying busy. I'd like another snowstorm to just kind of slow things down a little bit, but anyway, we'll take the moisture or we'll take the busyness. So a lot of things going on. The county lodging tax, I do have the ballot. I think there's been a lot of information, a lot of rumors on the lodging tax that's collected in the town of Bayfield. So I did get the ballot and all the information, and basically maybe a better system for our regulators. The state of Colorado actually collects La Plata County's lodging tax, so maybe better information about when we have a new lodger in town or new Airbnb. When they get a permit, to make sure that they're aware of those. So 1987, it's been a while since that's been in effect. There is the Pine River Senior Citizens are having one of their every other month meeting on March 13th. I did provide the agenda on the legal posting place, so if more than 2 trustees appear, just to make sure that you know that is posted. We had our kickoff meeting this morning with Plummer for water and sewer rate kickoff. And we have kind of the 1st of May, by the time the staff starts getting that information, and possibly either that last meeting in May or a meeting in June, we'll start looking at those rates, including stormwater, which is certainly our goal. In garbage collection, I don't think I have to tell you how frustrating it's been with WCA, GFL, and now Republic Services. So the other day, we had a customer on Dove Ranch Road that called Republic Services, and they told her to call the city, call Bloomfield, because that's who they needed to address her issue. And so when she called me and I called them, I got the same response that I was to call Bloomfield. And I said, by the way, this is Bayfield and not Bloomfield. And she would not help me. She said that that's her directions and that's what she was supposed to follow. So I certainly had a conversation with when I actually could get somebody in office at Republic Services, JC, to determine what the problem was. Well, they had the wrong information. I said, well, you can understand our frustration that when we call to be directed to another municipal public works office is not helpful to anybody in Bayfield. And so we are looking at basically another garbage collection contract. This one that we have, Republic Services, expires at the end of December. So we'll be working on that to redo that request for proposal and look a little more local if that is the way that the board would like to go. So Bayfield Outdoorsy, I kind of provided their response to me. They apologized for some of their earlier issues that they had in Bayfield. They really felt that they did not do well when they moved in here, purchased the property, purchased the RV park on the other side of US 160. But they certainly would like to make up for that, be a part of the community, contribute to our schools, and all kinds of other things. So actually that liquor license comment, I think, was a good trigger to get that information flowing back and forth. So we're continuing some other community impacts or community things that we're working on as well with some of the Outdoorsies neighbors as well. So that's what I have today.
Okay, any questions on the manager report?
Just for the short, busy month, is that like developers and builders,
Yes,
that kind of activity?
yes.
Thank you. Dustin?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Board of Trustees. Just a brief recap of my department report. Youth volleyball is off to a great start. I've never participated in volleyball, so I was surprised at how many people showed up. First time I was like, wow, this is only 4 grade levels, and the bleachers were packed. So, BJ and his team doing a good job cleaning the bleachers, getting the floor clean, getting that going. Also, that second week of volleyball I was there, we did a soft launch of the jersey program. I would say it was wildly successful. I probably got 50 comments to 2 negative comments. That's kind of keeping track in my head. And every parent that came to the table, I asked them if they understood the program. And a lot of them replied back, yeah, I got a letter from a Dustin guy. So it's been a great project. We handed out 66 shirts that day and brought in almost $1,000 in revenue recouped just in the soft launch. And the reason I say the soft launch is we're having a heck of a time getting the small extra smalls, which is going to be a bummer for spring soccer. But we need new pennies anyway. If anybody knows what a penny is, it's basically a tank top that goes over your shirt. We need new ones. We have ones that don't have our logo. The numbers are falling off. So we're going to order new pennies with that. And that's what I think we're going to provide to the pre-K and the fun team until we can get those shirts, but it doesn't look like it's going to be until this summer. But first on up, we should have plenty of shirts for us, so we'll be launching that big part of spring soccer, and we have usually about 350 kids. Ballots are here, they're secured. I'm definitely needing election judges. I've only had 2 people inquire so far. One's probably a yes, one's got some availability issues. If you guys know anybody that wants to work a 14-hour day, talk to the community and just take part. The one thing I've learned about elections, it's not your election, it's not my election, it's the people's election. So the election judges are the people, and they run the election. Of course, I'll be there as a resource. I have Secretary of State website access, so I'll be looking at people that may be new just to make sure they're part of our jurisdiction. So if you know anybody, spread the word for that. We've onboarded 2 new referees, and we'd like to get some more that aren't minors. Colorado's pretty strict with what minors can and can't do. So minors can't referee adult sports, they can't handle equipment, so they can't do big heavy-duty floor scrubber. So if you know anybody who wants to pick up some hours, let's send them our way, and DJ and I and Amber will get them onboarded. And the adult soccer tournament is in progress, actually started last night. And adult volleyball is starting March 25th. We did postpone that a week because we were gonna start it right on spring break. And I'm assuming a lot of people will probably be out of town, so there'd be some forfeitures and stuff. So we decided this is a team to bump it back a week, which gives pickleball a little bit longer to run our tournament too.
How's pickleball going?
It's been a mixed bag. What we're running into is we get a real good group of experts. They don't wanna play with the newbies. So we almost have to mix the 2 groups in. We're trying our best, but the feedback's been from both sides. We don't wanna play the newbies. The newbies are like, we're not getting any better because they just smash the ball at us. So we're trying to work out a way, maybe we can open it up, kind of kick it around, to make it bigger and have a comp league versus a rec league, kind of like softball, is where we're leaning. But now we're just been kind of trying it out, making sure our gear is good. I would like to run one more into the late spring, early summer. I'm concerned about the heat in the gym, though. It's been hard to get it heated up. I can only imagine what's going to get
Cool it off.
So that's my only concern on that. Otherwise, we pay that lease, so I would love to run something in there in the summer when usually it just sits empty. But that's my goal. I'm still working with Rick and the school district on the AC. Can't just open the doors and make it a cool down.
All right.
Questions for me?
No, the jerseys look really nice, though.
They did look great.
They came out really nice, so
Yeah.
good job on those.
Yeah, it was nice to see. I was expecting to get more negative comments than I did. I got a lot of parents to tell me about time.
Right, yeah, we're all sick of the
I mean,
shirts.
the kids too, yeah, they're like, this is like a real jersey, it's not just a shirt. So
Yep.
I think it's a great program, and then when kids time out, of course, is what's gonna happen in this volleyball, because it's the only league we have 7th and 8th graders in. So a lot of those kids are gonna time right out of that program, which size-wise, I'm kinda glad, because a couple of the kids, the extra larges, were riding up.
The judges, there were some over at the library. There wasn't any opportunity to make a connection with them today.
For the county. I do have a couple of sources with the county.
Yeah.
I wanted to see who was gonna apply with the newsletter and stuff first, and see who I got. And so far I've only had 2, so I'd like to get probably at least 4 election judges. Got the list of instructions form and everything, and it's a really pretty seamless process for 4 people. It's just gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a super long day, because you open the polls for 12 hours, and then I'm guessing it's about 2 hours to count afterward. Get them on board, get them trained up, and it's fun. It's fun to be part of the process, and it's fun to watch you win.
Okay, thanks, Dustin. Mark, you are up.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Board of Trustees. I don't know about Kate, but I'm enjoying the sunshine. It's nice to go outside without 3 legs closed on. So in our parks and trails, we're done with all our maintenance. Everything's been completed in that area. All of our small tools, we completely did a rebuild kit on them, and now we're gonna have to change out, looks like, to battery operated tools, so we get 1 more year out of them. We've had an issue with power lines at Mesa Park for the shade structure. That, Nicole reached out to La Plata Electric, and they gave us the guidelines that we have to follow. structure, would be like 26 feet tall for the size that we want to cover it. And the power lines are like 30 feet tall, and, you have to have 11.5 feet of clearance. So, I actually had Rocky Mountain Playground Systems come on site, with all their equipment and look at the park and the playground. And I'm still waiting to hear something back from them as far as to what we can do to hopefully still be able to do that project. So, as soon as I find that out, I'll update everybody as far as what we can do with that structure, or if we can't do one at all. Because we gotta keep it safe for the kids. I was, got an email, from Colorado Tree Coalition. They are going to start grant paperwork for us to get all the shade trees that we wanted. I already have an order, with Plant World in Albuquerque to get all those trees. So we're just awaiting those documents, and then we're gonna start that project hopefully third week of March. As soon as we get that grant, I think that we're gonna move forward with that project, so. The trees at Eagle Park, however, though, we're gonna wait for the Arbor Day to do those on the 25th of April, and they're gonna be containers, so we're gonna store those in water and then take care of them. And then, yeah, so coming back to the small tools, and I did send you guys like a news link, and basically what the state is wanting to do, these engines are gasoline engines mixed with oil, so yeah, it does, cause a lot of carbon, you know, in the exhaust. So, I mean, the tools itself, I mean, probably $200 a piece for like a weedy or a leaf blower. I think charging systems in our trucks is probably gonna be where the cost will be involved, for doing that. We have till 2025 of August, to get that equipment and start using it. So this summer, we're fine to use what we have from what I've read. So, yeah, we're good there. We'll just budget for new equipment. We've all been pretty busy with just all the stuff around Town Hall and the senior center that's been needing to be repaired, or filters and stuff. We do have some applications for the facility maintenance, so we're gonna start that process and get some interviews going for that. Yeah, that's about it. Or any questions?
Okay, so I have a question about the trees.
Sure.
So it's a $4,000 grant, right?
Yes.
And it's matching, so we have to pay $4,000.
Correct.
So those 29 trees are costing $8,000,
Yes.
which breaks down to $276 a tree. How big are these trees? And do we have to buy them outside of a local community? It seems like, I've bought trees, 250, seems like there would be a local supplier that would give us more than 29 trees for $8,000.
There are local people here, but we're looking more like 11,000 for 29 trees to get them here locally. So going out, Kirby's gonna save us $2,000 to $3,000.
Really?
Ourselves. Some of them are ball and burlap, so it's like a 36-inch ball.
Mhm.
The trees are 2.5, 2-inch trunks, probably anywhere from 14 to 20 feet tall. So they're big trees. Some of them are container, so they'll be smaller, but it's like a 25-gallon container, so still big trees. Yeah, trees are expensive.
Yeah, yeah,
$300
they are.
Is average for,
So, do we have the equipment to?
yeah.
Okay. And who did you get that bid from?
Plant World in Albuquerque.
And the other one locally?
Durango Nursery, and I also checked, in Cortez, I believe there's a nursery in the Como Canyon over there.
Because there's a great guy on the way down to
Arby's.
Arborlease, yeah.
I heard that.
I mean, he has phenomenal trees and,
I can definitely reach out to
yeah,
him.
he's
I've already
local.
kind of moved forward. I got 3 bids, and, you know, that was the lowest. So, you know, I would love to do business locally, but the problem that I have, especially with Durango Nursery, is the Colorado Tree Coalition basically took my selection of trees and changed it 3 different times to what they want to see us plant. So to get that money, we kind of have to go along with what they're asking us to get. And they're good trees, but there's probably, I don't know, 10 different types of trees that we're getting. Durango Nursery didn't have a lot of those.
And what were your trees and why did you prefer those over what they asked?
I did a lot of research. One, they have to be zoned out for our area, to withstand the cold winters that we have. I wanted large canopy trees, faster growing, and trees that were not gonna, make a lot of limbs or trash that we gotta, more maintenance to keep up with. Their trees are all very similar. They just believe that they're hardier and tougher trees that are gonna survive, disease and bugs. Like I wanted to put more ash trees, but with the boar, they don't want to see any ash trees.
Gotcha.
The ash trees that we have in the park are very hardy. They do very well. We treat them for bugs and disease, so the boar is not too big of a concern, but they don't want to see, us plant trees and then they get the boars and they all die. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Carrie's report is in the packet. Katie, unless you had anything to add to that?
I don't think I have anything to add. Carrie does this once every other month at the first meeting of the month. And as we're on reports, just kind of FYI, the email I sent out, we have about 4 directors that do it the last meeting of the month and about 4 that do it the first meeting of the month. And if you'd like something more, we can certainly provide that, so.
Okay, thanks. We'll move on to our financial action agenda. Do we have any public input pertaining to items 3A through D on the agenda? If not, we'll move on to the February 2024 disbursements. Everybody had a chance to look those over?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the February 2024 disbursements.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah. Yay. And Mayor Tarkenton.
Yes. All right. Town Engineer, SGM, 2024 fee schedule.
So we actually have Catherine from SGM who is in the audience. We have the board selects your town engineer. The SGM has provided us new quotes for 2024, and I believe their effective date was the beginning of March. I believe that's what it said. But I'm going to let Jeremy basically talk about our satisfaction with the engineer. I think that's important along with the rates.
You guys have seen some of the large projects that we have going on here. SGM has been doing a wonderful job as far as for civil. We still are working through our wastewater nutrient removal right now, which is scheduled for April, and then we do have some construction activities that are going on Mill Street with the sidewalk. So they started tearing the other side of the street up today, so it's a mess over there. Drive around.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would recommend continuing our relationship with SGM as far as the town's on-call engineering services. I know Catherine will be able to answer any questions as far as for the fee schedule. As you know, everything's going up, so you're probably going to see that reflected in the fee schedule that we provided and have it running right now. But I'd be happy to answer any questions if you guys have any in regards to this.
Board have any questions?
And in addition, I have the Community Development Director, Killian, also does, the SGM does review on developments that are coming towards Bayfield.
Yeah, I'd say I've worked with a lot of engineers, and I do really enjoy working with SGM. They're super responsive to staff and to our developers as they're trying to get their reviews done, and always willing to answer questions for the developers and just look at the different options that are asked of us. They also, I think, they do a really good job of reviewing our codes and standards. They're very accurate and thorough and timely and all of that. And the one thing I like the most is that they always have the town's best interest when they're looking at projects, making sure that when we accept public improvements that it's at our best interest, built to code. And so I think that they've been really good to work with. especially Catherine. I think Jeremy and I and Katie all really enjoy working with her and having her part of our team. And I would really like to see them stay on as our town engineer.
Any thoughts, comments, concerns? I mean, I feel like they're in the middle of so many projects right now that I think it would be detrimental to go out for an RFP at this time.
Is there, with the fee changes, is there going to be any kind of an impact to the budget that we currently have?
It's likely, yes. Some of the projects that we have, the developers actually, they reimburse us directly for anything that has to be reviewed by an engineer.
Okay, thank you.
But all town projects will be impacted. Those will impact the budget.
That's correct.
All right, I entertain a motion. If there are no further questions.
And Madam Mayor, I make a motion to accept the 2024 rates.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion from the board? Roll call.
Trustee Zazzaro?
Yes.
Trustee Hartz?
No,
Trustee Moreland?
Yes.
Trustee Thomas?
Yes.
Trustee Wolf?
Yes.
Trustee Ah?
No.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, moving on to our phone system update quotes. And there is a special, in your packet, there is a, under 3C. But we do, hi Kristen. Thanks for doing all the legwork on this one.
Of course. So Town Hall has some pretty old phones, as you all know, and we have been having some glitches here at Town Hall, probably within the last year at least,
Yep.
what I've seen recently. Glenn tried to answer the phone multiple times the other day, and his phone was just blinking a bunch, and couldn't, when you answer the phone call, the person would just sound like a robot, so we had a couple of people come in here and talk to us instead of talking to us on the phone. So our phones are really big to us, and our biggest accomplishment with doing all of this would be to link in our other buildings as well, our public works buildings, link in the senior center, parks, get everybody all on one system together. So we do have Stacy Davis from Fast Track who provided a quote, and we have Christine from Data Save, and she also provided a quote. So they can answer any questions that you guys have or present the quotes if you'd like. What we have so far is about a yearly cost around $10,000 for our phone for either service in a lot of ways. Fast Track is less expensive if we do not purchase if we don't purchase the phone, or if we lease the phones, it's more expensive. And so that's what's about $9,500 in the year is if you lease them. Goes down to about $6,300 a year if we purchase them, but that's also your $4,500 out of pocket. And then Christine's quote, they are around $10,000 a year, but they are willing to give us a discount of 2 months of free service. That brings us down to around $8,000. And we have some things that we can add and subtract from their quote, like headsets and conference phones. They will deduct tax on both, of course, because we're tax exempt. And I'm looking into the retention factor on DataSafe's quote. It doesn't look like we need to save the kind of data that, like our current phone system, we don't save any of their voicemails and things like that. But they are offering that because their phone quote does connect into our computer system, so we could do meetings like we have now, getting all of the phones upgraded to a system that's usable. With DataSafe's quote, we will be working through phones and computer systems, so we would have apps on our computer to be able to do more integration, and they would be able to do, some people have asked about text to our customers and things like that, so we would be able to do that with DataSafe's quote. Christine, do you want to come up first, and then we'll have Stacy?
Hello.
So I'm with DataSafe, and our partner for the phone system is Intermedia, who also currently provides the email that the town uses. Do you have specific questions, or can what would you like to know?
I mean, our goal up here is gonna be the cost. I always try to like support staff on what, what they want to work with, and what is gonna make their life better, so.
So I think the biggest difference is, as Kristen was saying, a regular phone system, which is what the staff is used to now. The Intermedia phone system is a little more integrated with the Outlook email app that the town uses. There are applications within the phone system so that the staff actually can text and call each other, have meetings. The phone system will also allow for a business phone to be transferred to someone's cell phone. So if they're out of the office, their business phone can ring to their cell phone, and if they make a call, the number that shows up will be the business phone. So that's kind of a nice thing because a lot of his staff is pretty mobile. The things that you can pretty easily take out are, we did put in the cost for headsets for Kristen and Glenn and Amber Abdella, just because they're on the phone so much, it's nice to be hands-free.
Is that something that anyone's,
Fast Track's phones can support a headset, they don't sell them, so we can buy one and Bluetooth in.
but would you guys use a headset? Are you wanting a headset?
Me and Glenn, Amber said that she could go without.
Okay.
She doesn't get enough calls over there.
So we did have the conference phones in there because I think that was requested at one time. The archiving absolutely is just up to you. I wasn't sure if the town had a compliance requirement for archiving voicemails and telephone calls and that kind of thing. So that's with our system, because it is over internet, you would need to keep a hard line for the fire alarm. But the system does have a way to, they're very strict about when the phones are installed, about if you need to call 911 from one of these phones, that there is an address that's put in when the phones are installed that is for that particular area. So if you were to transfer the call to your cell phone and you call from your cell phone, they're gonna come to the building where the phone is listed, not to where you are on the cell phone. So it's just something, it would be like it's connected to the phone to the place of the business. So just so you know that, but it does support a 911 system.
So the other thing, there would be 2 months at no cost, but then what would be the next year would be the full 12 months? Okay.
But, I mean, if you take out some of those other items, like the archiving is $150 a month, that would come off of that bill. So, and I certainly can go back to Intermedia and see if they would make that 2 months permanent, or at least 1 month, I don't know, but it never hurts to ask.
Sure.
So.
I have a question for staff. So I've had the system where you have an app on your phone so that you can make calls from the app so that you're not giving out your personal phone number. I'm just curious for staff that work out in the field, is that of benefit, or are I know we do cell phone stipends. Do staff have issues giving out their personal phone number versus using a work phone number? Like, I just want to know if there's, what the benefit is to staff to have that functionality.
There are times it would be beneficial for Public Works, just depending on the I would just say the nature of the phone call. Sometimes it's better to call somebody if it may be slightly contentious from a business phone, rather than giving them your personal cell phone so they can call you after hours. So, you know, it depends,
Okay.
you know, just
From
really.
an information security viewpoint, yeah. that's a
Mhm.
much better way to handle it.
Is that a feature you can turn on and off? So, while
Yeah,
they're,
you don't
I mean,
have
how
to.
does it say no to block your number when you're calling somebody?
You
Does it
call
just go
out
through
from the
that?
app.
You use the app.
Okay.
So the incoming call, you just answer it.
Yeah.
And then the outgoing, you have to go through, at least this is what my experience is, you go through
You
the
use an app, so if you picked up your phone and just dialed like 911, it would go like a normal 911 call, but if you dial 911 through the app, okay, so, okay. Yeah, I'm sure if there was a 911, you'd just be done. You don't use the app. Okay. So you can't, okay.
I have a question for staff. Is this included in this year's budget?
Well, we're going to lose the phones. We've been trying this for about a year to get quotes, and we've had a changeover in data safe staffing, so we finally got 2 quotes that we can go forward with. But when we lose a phone, we can't, customers can't call in.
And
So is that a no?
That's a no.
So I have another question when it comes to budgeting. Is there funds, a place we can pull the funds from?
So if we actually purchase phones, keep in mind that we have money in our capital improvement fund
Gotcha.
versus leasing them. So I would not suggest leasing any phone. And then on data safes, I'm not really too sure if we're actually purchasing something that we own or if we're leasing something.
So I know that from the intermedia just requires that you stay with them for a year. The phones are absolutely free to you. As long as you continue to use their service for a year, they are yours, period. They don't want them back. They want to win your business, and they feel it's better rather than having a multi-year contract. They want to be able to serve you month to month, and that you're happy with it, and they want to keep your business, so.
And honestly, like for Kristen to say the phones have been kind of acting up is a complete understatement. I mean, I've been hearing about this. This has been a massive issue. And this will fix the problem for you over there, Mark? This will,
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is to be able to transfer calls directly to our cell phone.
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
now, you know, I usually get an email and a phone number to call somebody back. Because, yeah, we didn't list our phones on the website, so they call town hall, and then town hall basically refers that to us, and we just get back in touch with them.
Are the quantity of each one of these widgets, are these replacing everything we have, or are these replacing what we need? Because there were some items that I think we were doing without, and it was like we kind of came to realization earlier in the year that, oh, we're not even using this, and maybe we're just getting by. But have we taken a poll on everything, like if we need it and we're replacing it, but if we have 26 phones and we're only using 13, like is this a widget for widget, or is this what we need?
So
I gave both of them charts of our building for labeling each phone that we currently need. And built into both of these quotes is about 4 additional phones for growth.
Okay.
that the other facility's been begging for. Carrie has been begging to get rid of CenturyLink. When they go down, she can't take reservations for lunch. She can't, and it's
transfer calls.
pretty common. And it's not the phone, it's actually the phone system.
May I ask a follow-up question to what Alexis was asking? So we are currently paying for CenturyLink services, so
That's correct.
So that's budgeted somewhere.
The monthly,
Yeah.
service.
Okay,
We don't
so-
have any equipment that we have budgeted for.
Okay, so
What is that monthly? Sorry, just to add to.
yeah.
Do we know, can we? I'm not asking you to pull up, so I shouldn't
Do I
put
need
you
to
on the spot.
go
I'm sorry,
back
Kate.
It's all right, let me just go to
disbursements?
the disbursements, because it's actually probably.
Scroll.
I'm sorry.
Is it CenturyLink and?
Yeah, CenturyLink and,
We pay Fast Track currently as well as CenturyLink. And our Fast Track bill lumps in internet as well. So I'm not sure that you'll have a breakdown between the two.
so CenturyLink a month is $310.
Looks like it's Fast Track 760. I'm on page 23 of 50.
I think it was 530.
$760, and that includes internet.
And that's for every building.
No, that is for town hall, the police department. And
That's it.
But, I mean, the equipment right now is what's, I mean.
No, but they were asking for
Yeah.
total. That's not the total.
Right.
So we're paying $1,000 a month for CenturyLink plus Fast Track-ish.
Just in this building.
No, well,
that does
CenturyLink
not
is at the senior
include
center.
Public Works or the senior, well, yes, it includes the senior center because it's CenturyLink.
But it's not working, so it doesn't serve much purpose.
So
Well,
we're-
the difference isn't that much, let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And so if we were to go with them, would we still have fast track internet, or does ours come with internet?
So
or-
you do have Stacy that's on Zoom, and that may be a question for her.
Okay.
And the Fast Track was also bought by Clear Network, so the people that are currently putting in our fiber and internet and all of that, it's the same.
Okay.
The ones that are digging all the holes that he's cleaning up.
Stacy, are you ready?
Yeah, right? Stacy, if you're talking, you're muted. Oh. Hold on.
Must be on CenturyLink.
There she is.
Stacy, can you hear us?
If you're on a phone, maybe try *6 to see if that unmutes you.
Shoot.
So it looks like Fast Tracks is a 36-month contract that I'm seeing, if I'm understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Want me to have her call my cell phone? Oh, she left again. Do you
There
have
she
her
goes.
cell phone?
I don't, I just had a direct line at Fast Track.
But Kristen, as far as as far as you know, they're looking for a 36-month contract with Fast Track.
We're currently in a contract, so at the very top of their quotation, they say that our current contract does not expire with them until May 3rd, 2025. And so we wouldn't technically be ending our contract with them because we still would be
Right. Still need.
keeping internet. So, so they do, with this, if we go with them, they do want the 36-month contract. And I believe that has a lot to do with fiber being connected to all the buildings. And so they're putting a lot of funds towards that to make that happen, and then that would make our connection, very reliable. Their quote does say that they would not be able to, they'll do an off-net phone for the wastewater treatment plant facility, because it would cost us $35,000 to get fiber down to that building. So we may still have some connection issues at the wastewater treatment plant, but we don't transfer a lot of phone calls there or any, major emergencies. Most of those would go towards Jeremy and Fort anyway. So that shouldn't be a big deal. And they also do have a 10-year warranty on their purchase option. Those are the only extra notes. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you're good.
sorry I'm out of breath. I had to run in my car. I don't know why my work computer wouldn't unmute.
No worries, we're ready for you whenever you are.
Okay, okay. Go, I was listening and then I had thoughts and ran in my car. I can answer, any questions. I was trying to look up, the internet service because I did not have that in my notes because I've been working on the phones.
Does anybody have any questions, or we're kind of looking this over as well. Stacy here.
Does will the fast track quote with the system that they're providing or would be providing, will it still allow for transferring calls similar to the other system?
Yep, it would just
Okay.
be a regular phone system that,
Okay.
I mean, it would be a much needed upgrade for us, most definitely.
Yeah, I can kind of, what you guys are using now is Cisco no longer supports. And so, and you came to our service with those phones. They weren't purchased from us. And we recently have transitioned to the current model, which is the 8800 series. Those are the phones that we've quoted, and they're at a 20% discount. We normally sell them for $130, and we guarantee them for as long as Cisco is supporting the software. So typically between 8 and 10 years, as long as you're with us, as long as you have your service with us. And then our voice service is, $15 per each, and that's, based on the number of phones and how long you've, been our customer. We carried that pricing over, and if you calculated it out, it is, obviously, the better idea is to purchase the phones up front than to lease them, which was mentioned. And I know it was also mentioned that one of the things that you want to be able to do is transfer your phone to your personal cell phone, which we can absolutely do, except when that is transferred to your cell phone, it's no longer our call. It goes to your carrier, and so whatever voicemail you have set up on your cell phone, we do not have access to.
So that would just be like a call forwarding, pretty
Right.
much. You can forward your phone to your cell phone, or have it, transferred to a cell phone. But it would be like answering an actual call. With Data Safe's quote, they have the app that you would be answering through, but this way it would be direct.
Our service also, what we quoted is our hosted, where our engineers are available 24/7 all year long. Our local engineers live locally, and with the hosted service, we can do anything that you want your phones to do, minus making dinner. But we can set it up. We can set messages up, holiday messages, all of that. Engineers take care of if your extensions change, anything that needs to maintenance, they take care of all that. And yeah.
Thank you, Stacy.
Are there any benefits to the lease option? I mean, it's
No.
terribly
Not
expensive,
really.
but
Not
is
for
there-
the
is there
town.
Any added services that are provided? If it sounds like they're serviceable.
It's
if we
easier
purchase.
for us to purchase through capital if we
Okay.
purchase the
Yeah.
phones.
Okay.
Yeah, not much of an upside on these things.
And so our issues now, is it with the service or is it with like the physical phones? What is causing?
The
They're
phones.
very,
they're-
very old.
They're
Okay,
obsolete.
it's the actual phones, okay.
We have a graveyard of phones.
You have
And so
what?
we have a graveyard. So what we do is, in fact, I think this phone is gone.
It's right here.
We start transferring phones somebody that is answering customer phones away from other places.
Okay, so
So
it's the physical equipment. Couldn't we
physical
just buy
equipment is
new
just
phones?
failing, yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
I also wanted to mention the other off-sites that you wanted to add to the network are also in this quote. Fast Track and Clear Networks. Fast Track being the business side, Clear Networks is residential, small business, but we're all one. He worked with me on these locations, and he is going to cover the cost of construction to the 4, but the 5th, which is the wastewater treatment plant, is one that we would have to provide off-net service to. Which just means that it's going, the phone will be connected to your network, but we can't guarantee the quality of the phone because it'll be working off whatever internet service you have there.
Just Josh over there, huh?
And the other thing is that we have, for some reason, the senior center is connected to our network, but the park shop is not. Public Works is connected to our network. And we do have some challenges because, you know, if when Carrie gets accustomed to using the network, Mark can't use it. I can't figure out why they're neighbors. But then Public Works can see our network. So that means that we have a lot of duplicate data out there, which we still have a lot of cleaning up to do and duplicate data in all of our networks. But
Would it be too much to ask to you know, if we're adding Fast Track or the other service provider on if it's one thing it's the phones, but since we have Fast Track's internet, are we going to be able to get rid of CenturyLink? At least in a small portion? Is there any savings? I would just like to see what the all-in cost is going to be, you know, because we are going to have some monthly revolving charges.
right.
Our monthly recurring charges, sorry. So if we're going to save by eliminating some CenturyLink, you know, if it's to one building, I don't know if there's a reduction in cost there. It may just be whatever we pay them a month. Would you say $310? It may be $310 if it's at one location or 50 locations. I don't know. But if I would kind of be interested because it may come out as a wash if we save by getting rid of CenturyLink. I know it sounds like we can't at every building, but I don't know. Is that a
Well, I think
ridiculous
I think you have a really good point. I think that, you know, this has been part of the rush was we have phones that are failing.
Sure.
And on the other hand, we couldn't really get good quotes and we were kind of back and forth, and thank goodness Kristen kind of took this over because I was kind of at a point where I couldn't keep up with what was going on. But I think you made a really good point to actually come up with what is the actual phone itself, the physical phone cost, what is the monthly charge going to cost for each phone, and what are we going to be paying extra for internet? So in other words, if Fast Track no longer provides our internet, what's that going to cost us? And at the top of Fast Track's bill or quote, they actually say the current hosted voice service contract expires May 3rd, 2025. New phones can be purchased, but the lease option will run contemporaneous with existing contracts. So are they going to fine us for moving to a new service? And so I think we would need to know what those fees are going to be. And I think probably more than anything, if you're not ready to go with one provider or another, just knowing that we can move ahead with purchasing phones or a new phone system so that we can speak to the customers, I think is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So if it's,
Well, I can tell you that however many months are left, based on when you decide, if you decide to stop the service, however many months are left in the contract, the value is 50%.
Okay.
Is what the early termination fee is. It would be 50% of the value of the contract that's left.
But I think it would, I don't know if it'd be I shouldn't say in our best interest, but we would have to already be signing a new 36-month contract to get to our remote locations. So I would think that it would be something that we would be more apt to, you know, continuing our internet service with them. I'm just curious, can we alleviate CenturyLink almost altogether? Because if we can drop that down to $90 a month for one building, if that's at the wastewater, then this cost is essentially almost a wash. So
Yeah,
it's
and
a slam dunk, in my opinion, to stay with Fast Track. But I know we're talking pennies in the
Yeah.
grand scheme. But if it's a wash, I think it's a much simpler answer from the board.
The town hall elevator is something we just need to make sure that has to have a phone. And I don't know if it just has to be CenturyLink or we go back to Fast Track and DataSafe and say, how can we go another service versus CenturyLink?
Oh, it has to be hardline.
I mean, we don't know if that
Yeah.
phone is ever out. We just know the senior center is out. And it's probably out the same time, but we just never use it.
We do provide those.
I feel like we don't have quite a clear enough story to make a decision, to be quite honest. I mean, and I know phones are failing, and that puts you guys in a quandary to not have an answer tonight, but I feel like I can't really decide
Yeah,
which one would be better, because I can't tell which one is a better deal. I mean, like,
Different, but they're not.
now, you know, right, exactly. Well, and personally, I mean, like, I feel like DataSafe and using it over the phone and the technology piece of it is a better option, especially with like today's world and how it works. But at this point in time, with budget concerns, and we want to make sure we're in the budget and we're doing the right thing for our budget, I don't have that answer if that's actually a better option, or at least what we're paying out right now, so that it doesn't affect the future budget. So I just,
that's good.
I can't,
and
I couldn't make an answer today.
I also want a little more staff input on what they need.
Right.
What their needs are out in the field, especially because, there's some pros to having
Right.
one, So I hate to table this, but
Yeah, me
like
too.
I said, we're not.
Yeah.
Can't we just buy phones from our existing company?
They don't
They
make
won't
this, yeah,
sell. They won't sell.
obsolete.
So we'd have to get all
We have
new
to go through a
phones.
service.
You could go like direct to Cisco, which is what we did with the current phones
Uh-huh.
that we have, but then you're just kind of stuck with customer service.
I just, at
Well-
least a year until your contract's up and.
So, we had inquired about replacing the phones with a new phone, physical phone, and we were told that they won't talk to each other. So in other words, we're gonna purchase a brand new phone that
That won't
doesn't
talk
talk
to
to
the
the
old
other
ones.
20 phones that we
It's just
have.
time to go all in and
Yeah.
just.
Because you have to.
That's kind of a bummer when you're in a contract and your equipment quits working on you.
And DataSafe didn't have a 30-year contract, right?
No, it's considered a month-to-month,
Yeah.
although
I will say I like that
you
too.
need a year to be able to keep the phones.
Right, understandable, for the phones to be free.
I mean, what are the odds that we could, because I know how important this is and how, we're on a pretty good time crunch, but what are the odds that we could have this ready for the next meeting? Or
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can have it
Okay.
ready
With
for
the
me.
really good
Yeah.
And just
side-by-side
hope
breakdown
that
stuff.
for
and-
2 more
Yeah.
weeks,
No, well,
we can
fair.
limp through it.
And how we're gonna pay for it?
I'm sorry, I
How
didn't
we're
hear
gonna
you.
pay for it since it's not in the budget?
Well,
The capital improvement.
Some of
buy
it-
the phones.
We're not gonna have a
Just the
town if
equipment.
we don't
Yeah.
have these
And then
services.
Okay.
each departments will pay for their service. So I mean, I would entertain a motion to table until next meeting, if
The 19th.
the 19th.
I make
Yeah.
a motion to table the phone system decision till the 19th of March.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes, and Christine and Stacy, thank you so much for your time.
Yes,
We're just,
thank you.
we have a lot of questions. Well, Kristen might be hitting you up for those. Okay, phones, huh? All right.
I don't know, we need them, that's all I know. Very important.
All right, we
Where
are
we to
on
now?
strategic plan prep and leadership development.
Yeah, so during the budget process, we budgeted $50,000 for a strategic plan. In most of the communities I worked in, we've had a strategic plan. We knew what the metrics were. We knew what we were working for. Bayfield, we can't find one. I'm not aware of one. And with all the development going on, with our comp plan just finished, we really need to know as staff and as a town really where we're going. So in a lot of, just to build that foundation is leadership development, having that team, have that development, work together, understand really what the strengths are and really how we can go forward. So I did put out an RFP. I made some assumptions that maybe this would come in at about less than $5,000 with increments of consultants after that. At that point, but this, I'm pretty sure that we can do that for less than $25,000 or $25,000 or less, because once the two proposals that I believe are most appropriate, number 2 and number 3, is that they will set us up for success to actually put that strategic plan together, probably by staff's work in meeting and drafting a strategic plan. And that will help, not only will it help with the leadership, but also putting the budget together, putting our capital improvement plan together, understanding where we're going and what we should be paying attention to and what we shouldn't be paying attention to. So this is kind of where we're at. We did receive 4 proposals. As much as I like the lower price, most of those are canned HR leadership packages that I've been involved with for quite a few years, and that's not going to me, it's not going to really have the teamwork invested in putting a strategic plan together.
Well, I feel like one of the things we've been talking about for years is providing training to staff so that staff are effective leaders in their roles. And I'm not sure that, I haven't seen anything in addition to what's in this proposal for how we are planning to do that. And having been a part of leadership trainings in my other roles, I know it's not free. And I know it can be expensive to have something that, again, is not canned out of a box, that doesn't really help you to learn and grow in your role in the organization, have a strategic plan, and to become a better leader for the town of Bayfield. So I understand where this is coming from, and that, yeah, I don't know, I would not be going with the lowest price. I'd be going with what's going to be the most effective for staff. Because again, this also helps with retention of staff if they're getting the training that they need to be successful, so.
Which training was it you liked the best?
So
yeah.
Amber Blake and Real Ideal, I think they hit what our needs are. I think
Number
both
2
of
and
those-
number 3 basically hit, they were the ones that interviewed me the most, got information beyond the request for proposal that I put together. And when they came back with the proposal, they really were hitting all those key points for staff. I did have just a small group look at that as well, and that was the same response that, number 2 or number 3 were certainly key submittals.
Yeah, and I talked to other municipalities that worked with both of these, and everyone had great things to say, so, I mean, I would just look for some direction on that, but definitely 2 and 3 are.
So, okay, so you just talked about a leadership, strategic plan, that would be the focus of it. You talked about leadership development within the staff, and at the leadership team, it sounded more like communicating upward. So the focus, what is the main focus of it? Is it to build the strategic plan? That's the main focus, or is it?
You got to build leaders to build a strategic plan that we can draft and put together. Now, keep in mind, the strategic plan will come back before the board probably about the same time as budget is coming up at the same time.
So, yeah, the reason I ask, if it's strategic plan development, maybe we want to table it until after the election. Just because there's going to be budget and strategic plan tied together. But if it's leadership,
Well,
So
this was all approved, yeah, we had approved this to go forward in our.
right,
Yeah.
Right, but the strategic plan, meeting what is gonna be important, what are gonna be the values and guidance for the staff.
So leadership, strategic leadership and just.
So leadership is
And
the
succession
development.
planning.
You're talking about two separate things. So
Right,
when we're
that's what
talking
I'm
about,
asking.
yeah,
Which
so
one are we
this is
doing?
leadership. This is how how they get training on how to lead.
So not a
And
strategic plan.
No,
And
no.
then
Okay.
part
Step.
B,
Yeah.
I think
Step
it's a
four.
two-part process, is
Yeah.
that
Well,
how
that's
I'm reading
correct.
this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
So-
leadership training first, then the
Then
the
strategic
strategic
planning
plan.
with
Because
the
you
board.
kind
Gotta-
of led with the strategic plan tonight. So I want to be
This
clear.
is just a big
Well-
step in drafting a strategic plan.
Right, first leadership.
So the
step.
$50,000
Right,
came
exactly.
out from reaching out to other municipal managers and finding out really kind of ballpark what they were paying to have a consultant to do a strategic plan. And I was like, whew, that's a lot, but it was adopted. And then the more I looked at it, basically building that leadership, understanding what those leaders are. You know, when we're training wastewater operators, we don't want them to leave. We really want to look at them as emerging managers, that we're leading them into these positions versus just, you know, treating water every day or treating wastewater every day. The goal is that you have leaders that stay here, that want to live here, that want to raise their families here. And that strategic plan basically is built on that desire that to see Bayfield have, you know, a better treatment system, better training. You know, when I first got here, nobody had trained on Cassell, and now there's times where we're going to be faced with an outdated system that was implemented years ago because they really hadn't been trained. So now the goal is to lead them, and not only are they being trained, but also training their employees as well.
And then once you're done with that leadership training, the staff will finish
The strategic plan.
So that saves us, you know, $25,000
Oh, a lot more,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah, and keep in mind that this is also a big part of it, is getting through a lot of these emergency response techniques as well, that it's all a part of it.
Then if you work with me, because it's free. Maybe I should be asking for money.
So the town staff would draft that strategic plan, and we
Yes.
wouldn't have a third party come in and
Yeah.
figure out what, okay.
Just, you know, I'd be looking for a motion on this, but, I mean,
So I'm looking for a motion. I think we have a leadership team meeting tomorrow morning. If you give us at least an amount that we could approve and at least select two and three together, and we can go through their proposal in a little more detail and determine what's best for the leadership team.
And can you remind me what we budgeted for this?
50,000 for this, and
but
this is half.
your thought would be
No more than
no more, so we
25,000.
can make a motion.
Amber
no more
Blake's
than-
25 and 50 bucks.
Well, she's gonna have to cut $50 off if
Okay.
that's the direction.
That dang board, they only gave me 25, you gotta take it
So,
off.
should I understand this to be, so we 25,000 to provide leadership training to the staff, we budgeted 50. So if we determine after we go through this training that maybe there's a session that one of these people can do with us that's still within that budget, or is it something we would still be
So
considering?
we're getting a little pro bono, just sending this out. We're getting a little more pro bono that's coming back to us that I did not expect.
Okay.
So we're getting some free stuff back.
Okay, cool, all right.
Sounds good to me.
Any other questions, comments?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve no more than $25,000 for leadership development, with the leadership team selecting the final consultant, and to start the compilation of the strategic plan.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
No,
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
No.
Trustee Ah.
No.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, moving on to our action agenda items. Do we have any public input for action items A, B, or C? If not, we'll move on to our BSB liquor license renewal. Oh, I'm on the wrong, let me go back to the packet. Huh?
No, I was doing the
Yeah.
same thing.
Okay, and there's no,
Looks pretty.
The
Yeah,
applicant was
pretty cut and
invited.
dry.
Yeah.
unless there's any questions, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the Bottom Shelf Brewery liquor license renewal.
I'll second.
All right, roll call.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkenton.
Yes. All right, resolution 609, employee policies.
Yeah, so we adopted an employee handbook actually in 2023 in January. Just advised employees of some of those employee policies that Employers Council asked us to take out were still there and they were still valid. And of course, we had some turnover last year. We were getting these policies back together. Now we're just asking for your approval of Resolution 609 to approve the itemized employee policies. These will change for minor reasons over time. You will get another resolution request regarding a drug and alcohol policy that we have not quite finished for other reasons that we have other input from Employers Council on. This is basically to go forward and make sure that employees know that, their responsibility. The mobile allowance is basically if the town purchases phones and the phone service, the cell phone service. The mobile stipend is we actually pay employees $50 a month to use their personal cell phone. The purchasing policy basically gives directions to employees how they're supposed to code things and make it very clear. We've had some issues with people using the town's purchasing to purchase their own personal items. Those employees are no longer with the town. And then a WEX card is a fuel card, or you can buy windshield wiper or oil or things like that. And it's sales tax exempt. So in other words, it's a card that employees that fuel up vehicles have in their possession. And then the on-call policy as well. So those are the 6 in this resolution. And the copies of those are attached. Like I said, there may be some minor changes to text changes or corrections. But this would be for your consideration.
Where's the resolution? There it is.
Any questions, comments?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, to approve Resolution 609 employee policies.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
No.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkenton.
Yes. All right, resolution 610, employee safety policies.
So, in addition to employee policies, we also have safety policies, and CIRSA, our insurance company, looks favorably on our insurance coverage when not only do we have these policies, but they're formally adopted. These are adopted by reference because they're not quite all drafted at this point. And if we have any additional safety policies, they may be added to this list at some point. But it's certainly for your consideration to consider these as formally adopted. And they will change federal laws, state laws, other regulations can change regarding these safety policies.
All right, any questions on that one? I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 610, safety policies.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Harts.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, everybody take a good look at your upcoming dates of interest. There's going to be some Monday things. Put them on your calendar. Katie, do you have anything to add? Nicole? All right, I will adjourn this meeting. It is 7:49.